guys, and welcome back into the channel for our Big Brother 2 episode reviews. We are now on to episode 9, which I gotta admit was a very good episode. One of the best since the first, I'd say since like episode 4, probably the best one. It was an episode that was filled with endless drama from beginning to end. Tons of things to latch onto and enjoy. The episode does start, though, in a kind of a shitty manner. You got Will and Shannon, who obviously were just recently nominated together. No veto in play, so automatically one of them is going to be leaving the house. They are aware of that. So no matter what, the relationship that they have built through the first 20 plus days is going to end here soon. And who do they blame for that? They blame Hardy. Both of them are pretty much equally upset at Hardy. They just kind of handle it and express it in different ways. But I gotta admit, watching this opening segment, it was something that I had forgotten. And it was something that I'm going to want to forget in the future. And that's because Will in this opening segment is not the Will that I remembered or the Will I want to remember. Because he is one of the greatest players to ever play this game. But, God, if you're doing like a ranking video on winners, I think this has to be held against him. The fact that he's so upset about this situation that he is talking to Shannon about a voluntary exit. A fucking voluntary exit. Like, what? Like, that is not a good look for Will. Again, it's something I had forgot happened and forgot that he had insinuated and discussed with her. Luckily, she shoos him down, shoos it down, says no, says, if I leave, I want you to go after Hardy. You're smarter, you have a greater mind, and you're going to kick his ass. And, I mean, 99.99% of the time, I like Will more than Shannon, but in that, that 0.1% there, I agree with Shannon, and I don't like that Will even insinuated that he would voluntarily exit. I like to think in my mind that it wasn't something he would actually done, but he said it, and we don't ever have any real confirmation that he didn't mean it. So, for you to watch this episode, did you remember Will saying that? Are you equally disturbed by him saying that? All in all, though, I did not enjoy that segment. Again, I hate every Will and Shannon segment. I don't think I've liked a single one. Will and Boogie, I love. Will and Shannon, I don't. Then we have, Boogie's reaction as well. He's also upset at Hardy. They're all upset at Hardy. Boogie has a really great line in this episode as he's walking from the patio into the house. He says that he's going to prove to Hardy why one guy works at a club and another guy works the door at a club. And I thought, man, that's a fucking major burn, man. And it's really true. Like, fuck you, Hardy. You think you're better than everybody. This dude does, Boogie does own clubs. Like, that's pretty freaking awesome. And, you can't be some stupid idiot to do that. Hardy's a fucking security guard at the door. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But in the grand scheme of things, I'd rather own a club. I just thought that was a really good line. Really good for the show. Really good entertainment. And Boogie's not fucking around. Then we had a luxury competition. It was kind of it was an average competition. Nothing too exciting or too groundbreaking by any means. But basically it was the winning team would get their laundry done by a professional, because I guess they do it out in the backyard on this little fucking, I don't even know, 1927 thing to wash their clothes, and it's not working well. They said they're not getting stains out of their shirts, and so this would, for them it's a big deal. For us as viewers, who gives a shit? Half the guys go around with those shirts anyways, and we wish half the girls went around with those shirts. So in the grand scheme of things, I'd be perfectly fine with none of the clothes being worn. Well, some of them, not all of them. Kent, you keep your clothes on. Monica, you keep your clothes on. Nicole, you fucking wear 2 layers of clothes. But, yeah, there's a few of them. Krista, she can wear nothing. Shannon can wear nothing. The guys don't wear anything, whether we want them to or not. Except Kent, you keep that shirt on. But then so the competition goes, whatever. One team wins. I can't even remember which team wins, because in the grand scheme of things, who gives a shit? They win, whatever. Then we have America's Choice again, which is something I also don't find too exciting. But they win a toaster. A fucking toaster. Because apparently Bunky wanted one, and apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently America loves Bunky, so they picked what he wanted. Good for you guys. Make your fucking toast and your waffles and enjoy. But in terms of entertainment, in terms of the show, don't give 2 flying fucks. Then we have a Krista segment. This was actually one of my, not my favorite, but probably my second favorite segment of the episode. It was actually really good in terms of, it went into detail about how, again, you have Top versus Chilltown. And Krista is sitting there right there in the middle, and Kent kind of goes into her on the hammock. And not really goes into her. He just wanted to make her aware of the situation in terms of why, in his opinion, she needs to make the decision and choose a side. Because ultimately, when you have this battle of the two sides, neither side can count on her. She's expendable to each group. And he's kind of saying, like, is that a position you want yourself to be in? Because currently that's the position you are in. You are not on either side. Neither side values you. And she, takes that as a threat. She goes to Hardy and kind of makes a comment about it. I think Bunky does as well. But ultimately, it ends up resulting in Hardy going to Kent and saying, look, and he kind of is like real forceful and kind of a dick when he says it. But he tries to say it in a nice way, but it comes across regardless in a dickish manner. Basically says, I want you to not, you need to watch what you say to people or run it by him or whatever the case may be. But basically tells him, do not just go say whatever you want to say. Like, basically, what the fuck? Did you see me jump? Like, what? Fucking windy outside. Something just fell behind me. That was embarrassing. But basically he goes and tells Kent that he needs to watch what he says to other people in the house because Krista took what he said offensively. I kind of agree with Kent. I mean, I think he had every right to say what he said. I don't think he said it in a rude way. I think what he said was true. Krista, at some point you have to pick a side. I mean, honestly, if you were able to play the middle and in a really effective way to where neither group picked up on it, then fine. But she's not doing that. And the reason she's not, as I stated back in like my episode 3 or 4 review, she won that HOH. When she won that HOH, she was forced to pick a side. And she did not nominate any members of Chilltown. So in Top's eyes, she picked a side. That's the issue. It's not that she wants to play the middle. The problem is you can't play the middle and win HOHs. Because then you are forced to put up someone. And honestly, her best play may have been to put up one from both sides. But then again, in that situation, again, you're not really picking a side. So in my mind, she did pick a side. Her heart is with Chilltown. It is. Because, I mean, you've seen it on constant examples of it. One being she picked Boogie for the dinner. She flirts with Boogie. She clearly likes Boogie. Another one being when she was HOH and went around and everyone wanted Will nominated, and she refused to put him up. In my mind, she really has picked a side, and it's Chilltown, but not 100%. And I think, honestly, for good reason, Chilltown, I think, considers her more of their group than even Top does. Ultimately, though, that was a really good segment. You have the interaction between Krista and Kent, and you have the interaction between Krista and Hardy, which then culminates in the moment between Kent and Hardy. It was a really good segment. Krista, again, if you hadn't won HOH, you'd be in a really good spot, but because of that HOH win, you kind of forced your hand, and now they're forcing your hand, saying you need to pick a side. Will she? We'll see in future episodes. Then we have a dinner, like a dinner where basically Hardy as HOHs come out and say, like, okay, let's all sit down. Let's have a nice little discussion here. Does anyone have issues that they want to discuss? I don't know if this is a weekly occurrence or if Hardy just fucking thought he was the king of the castle and got to decide whatever. But ultimately, they all want to have just a solid dinner and just enjoy each other's company and not talk about the game, except for one person, one bitch, Shannon. She goes after Kent during this discussion. And this is kind of a weird moment to me, because as far as I was concerned, throughout the early in the episode, she was upset at Hardy. They had never really made a point in this episode of showing her being upset at Kent. And again, this is just the early season editing. It wasn't the best, and it was just kind of out of nowhere. Like, I realize Shannon sucks, and she's pretty much fucking the definition of evil, but she just flips out on Ken at dinner for no reason. It would have made more sense if it had been Hardy she had freaked out on at that moment. Ultimately, she does then go after Hardy. She accuses him of being jealous. And at the end, after countless moments of Hardy being like, well, what am I jealous of? And she won't exactly give a definition. She'll just say he's yellow and a coward. Eventually, at the end, she lets her true thoughts out when she says, basically along the lines of, you're just upset that you can't have me. Which, if I was, again, Hardy keeps his composure to a degree, because I would have been, I would have freaked out. Like, she's not that good looking. She's okay. She's definitely not ugly, but she is not that fucking good looking. On current seasons of Big Brother, there's times where she'd be the 4th girl in terms of, their level of attraction. She'd be the 4th best looking girl in a current season. So I think Hardy easily could have said, shut the fuck up. You're not that good looking. Get over yourself. So yeah, I thought Shannon came across again as a total bitch. But then I got to give Shannon some credit because the best segment, possibly, maybe not of the season, but one of the best episodes so far of the season, and definitely the best episode and segment, or best segment of this episode, was Toothbrush Gate. The moment where Shannon has her little hissy fit, her little fucking slip from reality, and fucking takes Hardy's toothbrush, seemingly on a whim. They don't really say why, like what made her think of this. It was kind of funny because Will's standing in the bathroom. She walks in as Will's brushing his teeth. She grabs Hardy's toothbrush, goes into the toilet, into the stall, starts rubbing, Hardy's toothbrush on the inside of the toilet, cleaning the toilet with Hardy's toothbrush. Walks back out, and you got Will standing there, and he looks at her like, "The fuck did you just do, girl? What are you doing?" And he laughs, Boogie laughs, whatever the case may be. I mean, what are they gonna say? They like Shannon. She's part of their group. Ultimately, they didn't go and do that. They wouldn't go and do that because it's fun to watch on the show because she is making a fool and an idiot of herself. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, man, you are a fucking lunatic. Ultimately, Big Brother over the intercom calls her in. She's not allowed to do that. She is forced to bring it to the attention of Hardy. She goes and says she accidentally broke the toothbrush. Hardy knows it's total bullshit. Ultimately, the truth comes out. She gets called out in front of the entire house. And she just, as Shannon always does, she flips out. She tries to change the narrative, tries to, blame everyone else. And it's, at the end of the day, she's fake as can be. She's as phony as a $2 bill. She sucks. Cannot wait for her to leave. But I will admit, she was the MVP of this episode from an entertainment perspective just because of Toothbrush Gate. But she sucks. And it's a weird thing. It's interesting in terms of, I hate her. That's how you know she sucks. Because there's like people like a Monica who I hate just because she's boring. But it's like, I don't really hate her. I just think she sucks for the show. Shannon, in a lot of ways, is good for the show. And I still hate her. That's how you know you really hate someone, because she does bring something to the table from an entertainment standpoint, but she's just such a total bitch that I can't get over it. And I don't like that Will likes her. I really don't. I think Will should tell her she sucks. That would make me like Will even more. But all in all, this was a really good episode. Toothbrush Gate, even to this day, is something that is remembered by Big Brother fans. Episode 9 was very entertaining. I'm excited to go watch episode 10 and review that one here shortly. It'll be today at some point. But yeah, I hopefully will get the Shannon Will eviction here. I believe it'll be in episode 10. And thanks for checking in, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe below. Do you agree that Shannon sucks? That's what I want to know. And do you agree Krista made a massive mistake by winning that HOH? But thanks, guys, for checking in. And I'm out. Don't forget to subscribe, please.